Hi everyone, my name is Megan Pascal. I am in the Elementary Education MAT program at NC State University, and today I'm going to be discussing the Little Book of Restorative Discipline for Schools, Teaching Responsibility and Creating Caring Climates. And this is by Lorraine Stutzman Amstutz and Judy H. Mullett. So, the practice of restorative justice is one that is very dear to me. I graduated from Guilford College with a degree in peace and conflict studies. And while I was there, I interned with Guilford County Schools to train students in peer mediation. And I was able to witness firsthand through this program and this opportunity um, students building a sense of community in their school through peer mediation. And this is something I want to continue in my future classroom and would like to utilize restorative justice in my future classroom. And so I chose this book particularly because it provides a comprehensive explanation of restorative discipline and its practices. It has examples given throughout the book from the perspectives of teachers from different grade levels, and it has detailed and applicable methods and techniques that can be used daily. So, restorative discipline is an attempt to prevent or stop misbehavior, which is the discipline aspect, and teaches more life giving responses, which are those that are building empathy in our community and help to build a respectful classroom environment. Restorative discipline also recognizes the purposes of the misbehavior, addresses the needs of those harmed, works to put right the harm, aims to improve the future, seeks to heal, and uses collaborative processes. So, as human beings, we have a need to belong, and for students, they also have a need to feel a sense of belonging in their classroom, and restorative discipline can address that. So, the goal of education is to teach our children vital skills for living, such as communication, learning to listen, and learning to participate meaningfully. And restorative discipline does just that. Schools that have implemented restorative discipline have seen a decrease in suspension rates with the focus on community. And what I mean by a focus on community is that these schools are working to reintegrate students back into the classroom environment after a misbehavior takes place. Research shows that suspension and get tough policies are not making our schools safer, nor our children behave. There is what researchers refer to as the school to prison pipeline, where students who are being suspended out of school are missing out on academic opportunity and academic growth. And ultimately, that leads to academic failure and may lead to a student dropping out of school. And these are all precursors for students winding up in the legal system, unfortunately. And so restorative discipline doesn't eliminate that, but it helps to kind of combat that pipeline. Um, as educators, we are models of restorative practices. How we interact with colleagues and how we act with administrators is very, very important. Um, and it teaches our students how to positively interact with others. The physical ethos of care in the classroom is very important. What does the environment look like, sound like, and feel like? Is there a safe space established for a student to take a break if they're feeling overwhelmed? Or is there a space established for students to meet with one another if there's a dispute and for them to kind of collaboratively come up with a peaceable agreement? That's something that's very important to establish in a classroom. An emotional ethos of care in the classroom. So, what are the routines, procedures, and practices in the classroom? Um, Perhaps it's how you're walking through the classroom that's respectful to others, what to do if there's a dispute, what to do if you're feeling overwhelmed, and just the overall sense of feeling in the classroom. There's also the importance of a kindness curriculum. So perhaps having books and read alouds that promote kindness and having discussions with students on how to apply that in our classroom. And there's also differentiated discipline, meaning that students respond differently to different discipline measures. And so it's very important for us as educators to get to know our students and what they respond best to. So there are several applications of restorative discipline. One is classroom meetings or class meetings. These are opportunities to discuss issues and concerns important to the class. And one of those meetings may be the establishment of guidelines for the class and procedures and rules for the classroom. Research shows that students who collaborate and work on guidelines and rules for the classroom are more likely to follow them throughout the year, and help create that sense of ownership. Um, Perhaps there's a fire drill and students are feeling scared. Um, Once students come back to the classroom, you could have a meeting to discuss, the importance of fire drills and why, yes, the alarm is very loud, but it's also there to help us as well. Just like class meetings, there's circles, and they may be peacemaking or healing and beginning of the day circles. I particularly like the beginning of the day circle. It's an opportunity for teachers to check in on their students to see how they're doing and what they may need throughout the day. There's also conferencing. This is where students can meet with one another to discuss an incident and maybe discuss what happened, how they were feeling during it, and ways to prevent um, that instance from happening again. And then there's also peer mediation programs. And this is where peers are assisting each other in developing ways to negotiate and obtain a peaceable agreement. And yes, there are mediation sessions with a trained student mediator, but students can also go and have a one-on-one conversation with a trained mediator and receive advice on a conflict. Um, and so it's a great way to, again, build that sense of community. And so I just want to leave us with this quote from Lorraine Stutzman Amstutz and Judy H. Mullett. And they said, restorative justice promotes values and principles that use inclusive, collaborative approaches for being in a community. These approaches validate the experiences and needs of everyone within the community, particularly those who have been marginalized, oppressed, or harmed. These approaches allow us to act and respond in ways that are healing rather than alienating or coercive. I hope you all enjoyed this webinar on restorative discipline for schools, and I hope you find ways to implement this powerful strategy in your future classrooms. Thank you for listening.